everybody's ready, we will call the Coffee County Board of Education September the 24th, 2020 work session to order. At least would you give our invocation?
Our Father, we thank thee for thy many blessings. Keep us from harm. Teach us to be true to each other, ourselves, and thee. Guide us, Lord, as we do the work of the Coffee County Schools for the boys and girls and the students and teachers and everybody involved in Coffee County Schools. Lord, just guide and direct us as we do this important work. And be with everyone that's here and those that can't be here, Lord. All the folks who are suffering from the COVID-19 and all the crisis that we have going on around the country and such. Just guide and direct us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Everybody's seen the agenda. There's no changes or amendments to the agenda. Can we get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Move we adopt the agenda as presented.
Motion by Mr. Preston.
Second.
Second by Ms. Miller. All in favor? All right, not least.
Yes, sir. You all have had a chance to review the agenda, and on the agenda we have the first item of business is the Sam's not in yet. Get him called up. Give me a chance to catch up too.
It's like every single meeting we have this one. That's fine.
All right. Let's see, let me get my folder up.
We'll be looking at the minutes. We'll be looking at why he's.
Yes, sir. Y'all go ahead, and the minutes are on the table, and y'all had a chance to review them. Any questions about the minutes? All right, if there's no questions, comments, amendments to the minutes, then we will place those on the consent agenda for the regular monthly meeting. Next on the agenda, we have the financial reports. And this is our year-end financial report, so we will be closing out the books on FY 20, and we want to present that to the board tonight. And I've signed off on with the State Department through their system, and so these are the final financials. Ms. Young, I'm going to let you walk us through those.
Yes, sir. These are the final financials as of June 30, 2020. And it shows that we began the fiscal year in July of 19 at $14,950,260.85. Total revenues for the fiscal year were $73,621,725. Let me start over. $73,621,725.81. The total expenditures for the fiscal year were $69,222,268.56. We end the fiscal year strong this year at $19,349,718.10. But due to the situation this year with the pandemic and the governor's order to close school back in March, we had some savings in several different areas of our departments. You know, with our maintenance, we had some savings. With our subs, we had savings. Travel, conferences, utilities, we had some savings that accounted for some of this, how we ended the year. But I do want to mention, you know, for the fiscal year 21, we budgeted for the 10% reduction in state revenue. That accounted for about, $6 million. We will receive 2.6 in CARES funding that will offset some of those salaries and benefits that were in our general fund. So we will have to use some of our reserves the upcoming school year to make that difference in that state funding. Okay.
Well, we have an idea. I know what they projected, but when we have an idea of maybe an actual realistic revenue from the state? I mean, I know they're projecting us to be 10% down, but,
Well, they would help. They would
so
help.
they're gonna withhold that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's a done
Doesn't
deal.
matter what the revenue
No,
comes
yeah,
in.
that's their annual budget.
Yes.
They budgeted for us, they budgeted that reduction.
Okay, so that was not I got you. All right.
But their revenue is looking good.
Well, that was my question. I was wondering if maybe we would end up, and I guess at this point, if that's the way it's done, and, maybe next year they would adjust something, but I was just curious as if the revenue, as to if the revenue came in higher than they thought, would that affect us? But you're saying if that's the way we budgeted from them, then it doesn't matter.
I would think they will roll that into their fund balance up there.
Oh, that was the question.
So, our request is for them to fully fund QBE next year, and also to hold harmless for reduction in students this year, if there is a reduction in students, to hold harmless. So that's, and so, yes, sir, good question. The next budget or financial document, Ms. Young?
Okay, this is the 4-year comparison. So compared to last fiscal year, FY19, we increased our fund balance by approximately 4.3 million. But again, we'll be using approximately 3 million in the reserves to offset that reduction in state revenue.
Shane, you're having some kind of technical challenge.
I'm caught up now. I'm just trying to get a lot of stuff going down at the same time.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's that one over there is frozen. All right. I thought the one behind me was too.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay, this is the detailed financial report. The first part is our revenues. You can see our TABT and our local revenues were up this year, and this reflects our portion here at the bottom, $73,621,725.81. Moving on, these are our expenditures for the fiscal year. And you can see in some of the areas where we had, some savings at the end of the year. And at the end, that reflects our total expenditures of the $69,222,268.56. Okay. And then you can see that we end the fiscal year with the $19,349,718.10 fund equity. Okay, let's see.
What's needed next?
Okay.
Will you finish the year yet?
Okay, this is July. Yes, okay. This is the final financial document for the first month in the fiscal year 21. And it reflects that where we began this fiscal year. And then we ended this month, or the month of July, at $19,195,221.79. And the revenues and some of the expenditures for the month of July reflected, as of June 30, they're accrued. Here is the comparison shows where we were, in FY '20. And again, the detail of the month of July. But the revenue in July is just, we received some state revenue. A lot of our revenue for the month of July is accrued. And here's our expenditures detail. So for the month of July, the total expenditures was $1,356,671.50. August. And here is our August, as of August 31st, 2020. Shows where we began the fiscal year. And at the end of August, the fund equity is $18,357,891.29. And again, there's some salaries and benefits that are accrued here in the month of August. September will be our first month with all our salaries for that fiscal year. This is our comparison compared to last year. SPOS for the month of August. We were slightly down compared to the last month, but we're still, it's been quite strong this, as of May.
Well, that's what I was looking at, what got me worried about the state revenue. This cross was that much up from where it been any other year.
Yeah, state revenue's actually up over last year, so. Hopefully, we'll come back. Yeah, locally, the spending has been pretty strong, stronger than ever.
Well, all 4 of those months are the highest month totals we've had in any
Yeah.
Yeah.
month.
And now you have to back out the TABT on that as well. Which they didn't do it now for 2019-20. Total lot of cars.
I think when that Chick-fil-A opens up too, you're gonna see it grow. All right. If there's no questions, that's the financials. We'll ask the board to approve those on the consent agenda. The last item under this area is the audit report, FY19 audit report. And the state auditors came in last year and came in October, and they spent about 2 months with us, combing through everything and looked at every department and every account. And so we're presenting the audit to the board tonight. So I will say it was a very, very good audit. Probably as clean an audit as I've ever seen. So good. All right. Next item on the agenda is the Coffee County 21st Century Community Learning Grants. We've got Bull Brown here representing the Boys and Girls Club and the 21st Century Grant here. And Ms. Smith is here with him to present the 21st Century Learning Grant findings.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lees. Thank you, board. Once again, I want to thank you guys for approving the grant. We are in our second year of the the new 5-year grant, and I've got some exciting news about our first year. Our numbers continue to climb, and we have been more than successful. I mean, it's a blessing to see what our kids and our staff are doing at the club. The first little snapshot, these are our 11 objectives, and I'm proud to say for the 4th year in a row we've had 100% on our audit, and we have met all of our deliverables. And as you can see, the very first objective, we as a goal, 60% of our students will maintain or improve an A or B average in reading, and we surpassed that with 77%. The next item was in math. We had 60%, but we had 75% of our students. The next one was science. Again, we had 72% of our kids either maintained an A or a B or improved in those areas. Of course, the next 3 deliverables were not measurable due to the COVID situation. So in goal 2, it talks about behavior. This is measured through surveys from teachers and staff, and our goal was for 90% of our students to attend school less than, or to not miss more than 10% of their school days. Well, 100% of our students miss less than 10% of day school. So that means we're keeping them in school, because they know if they don't go to school, they can't come to the club. So that's a huge success for us. The next one, 70% of our students' behavior will improve. Well, we had 84% of our kids, and this is our daytime teachers letting us know that because of our program, 84% of our kids improved in their behavior. The next objective was 70% will improve in their class. We had 83%. The last 2 objectives is dealing with our family service. Not only do we serve our kids, but we serve our families, and we set a goal of 60% of our families will at least attend 2 family nights. Well, we had 68% to at least attend 2 of our family events. And then 85% of our parents, we wanted to gain knowledge at our parent events. Well, we had 98% of our parents say that they gained some kind of knowledge at our parent events. And that goes to the success of our family service coordinator, who I'll introduce in a minute. All right, this is just a snapshot of the evaluation. As you can see, we have 160 in the top left-hand corner. We had 168 kids enrolled in our program. Our grant calls for 130, but I always like to over-enroll for making sure that we can keep our ADA up. And of course, we had 168 enrolled. We had an average daily attendance of 122 kids a day down there, that we're providing a snack, providing education enrichment programs, provide them a supper. So we had 122 kids at our program every day. Again, I've already talked about the top right-hand corner with the 11 objectives that we made 100% on. The bottom one, again, is talking about the bottom left, excuse me, talking about the attendance and keeping the kids in school. The bottom right is something that was very interesting. We had to meet on it. This is talking about the improvements in different grades. Of course, this talks about our teen center, which we opened up with this new grant, versus our boys and girls unit down there at Jackson Street. And the ELA, it shows that the one in green is the teen center. So they had 84% that either improved or maintained an A. But if you look at math, The Boys and Girls Club is beating them, if you want to say. It has improved more than the ninth graders, but these are kids getting into high school, and this math is a little different. So that's something that we've looked at, that 48% of them, only 48% of them improved or maintained their AFB. So that's something we're going to focus on. And also science. The K through 8 improved more than our teen center. So that's something that we're going to focus on this year. The last page is, of course, some other spotlights. And of course, when I talked about the top left-hand corner, our ADA, average daily attendance is 122. That's one of the best in the state of Georgia. My ERES that comes and visits and makes sure site visits, he is excited to come see us. He knows we got something very special going on in Coffee County. Some other highlights that the school day teachers and parents agree that improved academic performance was a result of our program, the 21st Century program. So not only did we work with academics, but we also social and emotional needs, and we use that through our mentor programs, our life skills, and of course our virtual programming. With COVID hit, of course, we were one of the first virtual programs, 21st Century programs in the state of Georgia. As soon as school was shut down, administrative staff met, and we was concerned and worried about our kids. How are they going to get help? And the state allowed me to go ahead, and we come up with a plan, and I think we executed pretty well. We had about an average of 45 to 50 kids daily during the summer, during the after-school portion, and it was a very, very successful. We had to think outside the box and do some cool things with them to keep them engaged. But my staff, I have an awesome staff. Can't brag on them enough, but they come up with some cool and interesting things to keep our kids engaged. Right-hand side is just a part of our surveys. We allow parents to write something, and that tells a lot that how much my staff loves our kids. We got a huge heart, and no doubt that the BGC program is what helped her son. So the bottom left, of course, is some of the surveys of the school, and of course the bottom right is parent satisfaction. We got 100% of parents are satisfied with our program, and one of the things that I highlighted is it's like a family there, and we truly are like a family. We love those kids. That's one thing that when I interview them, if you don't love my kids, I don't want you, because I want you to build a relationship with them, and they know that. And with that said, I want to introduce Miss Cece, or is better known as Mama Bear. I'm Papa Bear, and this is Miss Cece, my family service coordinator, and I wanted her to share a little bit of things of what's going on now at the club, because of course it's with this COVID, it's very different, but our kids are still enjoying it, and we're keeping them safe. So Miss Cece.
Thank you, Mr. Bull. Thank you, board, for inviting us to come and share what is going on at Boys and Girls Club. I want to talk about a little bit how our year is going. Attendance, the school hit on some of it. It's around 80% due to some of our children are virtual. We put out where we asked who's going to be virtual, who's going to be face-to-face. So if they weren't going to be face-to-face, they weren't able to come to the club. So all our children that are face-to-face are being able to come to the club. So we got about 80%. I want to share some things, the ways that we're keeping our children safe at the club. Every day, Mr. Bull and the vet company, they come in and they're spraying and sanitizing each of the rooms, the bathrooms, our kids cafe, the lobby area, really just the whole club. Daily, at Jackson, and I guess also at the 9th grade. When our children gets off the bus and they come in the door, their temperatures are checked, and we also make sure they're masked up. Our kindergarten through 3rd, we chose them eating in our kids cafe. We have eggs on seats in the kids cafe to keep them social distance. So they eat their snack and their dinner there. Our 4th through 8th graders, they eat their snack and dinner in the classroom where there are social distance in the classroom as well. We have plexiglass on the tables in all of the classrooms where they have their own little area, their own little space. So they're not coughing or spreading germs over their peers in the classroom. Also, in our middle school classroom, since it's such a small classroom, the staff decided, and Mr. Bull decided to divide those students up. We have some that are in the classroom that they do have plexiglass as well, and some are in our games room. So we are not using our games room at all, but only for class instruction. I got notes here, so I got to get anything. When they go outside, it's only a couple of groups go outside at a time, and we have an outside zone, so they only go in their designated zone areas. They have their own playground equipment, each class does, and it is color coded. So after they're done playing with it, staff sprays it, cleans them off, and stores them for the next day. Let's see what that's saying. As far as me being a family service coordinator, we were advised to use the G Suites platform. I know when we shut down, I used Zoom, but after I've been told we're gonna use the G Suite, so I just had my quarterly parent meeting using Google Meet. So we're using our Google Meets, Google Hangouts for our parent meetings, and let's see. We also partner with the college. We have 5 college students are working with us. They get background checks done. We're also making sure that they're protected too, and they're masking up. We check their temperatures as well. So they're there to help our children with homework, with their enrichment activities. They help with serving the snacks and dinner. We also use them as well to sanitize our bathrooms, handles, and fixtures. Okay. Just reading my notes right there. Don't forget anything. Most of our programs and events that we're gonna have, we usually have people come in, but since of the COVID, we're gonna have our programs virtually. And some of our programs we're planning to have is a self-defense course. I know Mr. Bull talked with someone coming in and teaching that. We feel that this program will be important for our children because of our society has changed, and there are lots of human trafficking and children being abducted. So we feel like this program will help our children, to protect themselves. Also, I have a fellow college classmate. I attended Fort Lauderdale State University, and his name is Dr. Hodges, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with National Geo Wow, but he's one of the doctors on the show Critter Fixers, Country Vets, and well, actually I went to school with both of them, but Dr. Hodges is the one I talked to him the most. So we're looking at getting him to come in to talk with the students about his profession and how he got to be on National Geo Wow. Another event we have coming up, and it's coming up next month, is our Lights On After School. And that will be on a Thursday, on October 22nd. We have partnered with the Kind Corporation, and they make the Kind bars. So only Mr. Bull and I talked, but we'll present this to the staff at our staff meeting. But we're looking at making little goodie bags at the club for our healthcare workers at the Coffee Regional Medical Center. They have worked diligently, tirelessly around the clock since this COVID-19 came in our area. And so we felt like to pay it forward, to give back to our community. We're going to explain to our children about what we're doing, why we're doing it, so they can understand and know that, and we want to teach our children how to give back and not just want themselves, but, and they're good at it. When we've done it in the past, we've done it for a summer camp before, and they was really involved, coming up with a lot of ideas of what we can do to give back. So we are going to present this to them and doing this for our healthcare workers. And I wanted to say also, if you can think of any businesses or anybody in our area that would like to talk with our students, please feel free to call us and we can set up something virtual. That's it.
Thank you.
That's great.
I want to thank y'all for what you have done. I just couldn't help but think back to, there was a small group of community members that were meeting over at the South Wire plant in the morning time around 7 a.m. about 8 years ago, and planning a Boys and Girls Club, and we would meet. We didn't even have a facility, didn't have anything except for a group of people who wanted to see something happen. That group stayed the course. They got a facility. The city of Douglas donated the facility, and then that group kept working, and was fortunate to have you all join and join the club and the staff, and to agree to work with this program. And we've just been blessed to have your leadership and all of y'all who were involved. Please go back and tell your staff how much we appreciate everything that y'all have done, because with your work you brought together that just a small group wanting to have a Boys and Girls Club, and you've made it, I'd say, as fine a Boys and Girls Club as we could have ever asked for. And to be able to get the grant and go through a 5-year cycle of that grant funding for $250,000 a year, whatever it is, it's a $2.5 million grant, I think, and then be able to reapply and get the grant again, and now we're in year 2 of it. It's just been tremendous. Y'all are making a difference in the lives of boys and girls in Coffee County, so thank you, thank you, thank you. All right?
Thank you. And I did want to mention something, and when you said that, Dr. Lees, we're not only in Georgia now, we are getting national attention. This past year, I was able to speak at a national conference and share what we do at Coffee. I've had to speak at a state conference twice and be presenter, so I am getting the word out, and I've had other clubs from other states and locally from Georgia call, "What are you doing down there, Bull?" So we are getting notarized in other places, and thank you guys for supporting us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
Hey, I wanted to say something on that I heard. I want to thank y'all and appreciate y'all for not being so relaxed and making sure that the children wear their masks. that was something that was important, key information that you brought in several times, that you make sure that the children wear their masks, and you make sure that, who are you partnering with, they wear their mask, because this is so important now. And a lot of times we relax on that. So thank y'all for that, just to make sure that those children and everybody in the facility wear their mask. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. All right, the next item on the agenda is the seamless summer option review, and this is a compliance report we have to get in front of the board and have you approve this audit.
Last October, we began a 3-part audit that the school nutrition program has to go through. We completed the fall audit, and I reported to you in the winter that review. This summer, we were required to complete the second audit, which is our seamless summer audit. It was conducted, even though we were in a pandemic, it was still happening. The review was over the Roundtree Community Center, which is one of our partners with the Seamless Summer Program. And I am pleased to report there were no findings at all with that audit. So that was very good news for me. I do want to take a minute to read the commendations from that report from the state. They said that the site accurately completed all paperwork, and the school nutrition director submitted all required documents in a timely manner, making the staff's review process quick and efficient. It was a pleasure to work with this school food authority. And the last comment leads into what I'm about to talk about next. It said all Coffee County school nutrition staff are to be commended for their tireless efforts to see that children in their district have access to nutritious meals during the COVID-19 pandemic. And Dr. Leese asked me to give you just a brief report on the COVID pandemic. So I have just a little quick slide to show you what really did happen when the pandemic started. And we actually redid our whole entire program. That's the slide that did not get uploaded.
That's not the letter.
No, it's the PowerPoint. It might be the commendations. Did you just have that? I can talk about it. If it's not there, it's not a problem. No.
Is it under system update, maybe?
No.
I will just briefly tell you it, and I'll make sure you get copies of the slides. When the pandemic began in March the 18th for us with meal service, from that point until the summer meal program was over, our staff served 569,762 meals during that time frame. So we were very, very proud of that. But it wasn't just our staff. It was teachers, parapros. Mr. Preston volunteered in packing meals. Our community partners like the Roundtree Center. We had churches donate as well. And our transportation department. They tirelessly delivered meals for us nonstop. They helped load the buses, the maintenance department. So when I say it was a community effort, I am very excited to say that was not just a school nutrition effort. It was the entire Coffee County community who helped us reach that. And that is just unimaginable that we would serve that many meals in that short amount of time. So I was very excited. And I will get you copies because the pictures are really cute. It's some of the kids that actually got to enjoy those meals. So I'll send that to you.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis.
Thank you very much.
The next item on the agenda is the system update. I wanted to update the board on the COVID snapshot that was completed on Friday of last week. You'll see that we had 7,586 students enrolled. We had 5 students on Friday were positive COVID-19. We had 92 students absent due to possible exposure. And then Coffee County School System employees, 1,178. Employees absent due to positive COVID-19 test, that was 2. And then employees absent due to possible exposure, 13. We're doing this snapshot. We're completing the snapshot around 11:30 and trying to have it published for the public by noon. So this was as of noon on Friday of last week. We'll be compiling another report tomorrow at noon. I do want to report that we will have elementary students who are coming back to school, who are choosing to no longer go virtual, and we will have 173 elementary students, kindergarten through 5th grade students returning to our elementary schools. When will they return, Ms. Miller?
October 12th.
October 12th. And that is our update, system update. All right. The next item on the agenda is Naviance Curriculum Solution. We have Ms. Miller here to present to the board purchase request for Naviance.
If you remember back in February, I presented this to you all for the first time, but we never followed through with it because of the shutdown. So I just wanted to briefly review and remind you what this is. This Naviance is a college career and life readiness framework, and it outlines those 6 competencies there that 612 students should have exposure to, achieve, to become college, career, and life ready. And this program is a program that provides a lot of things, but it provides lots of activities and videos and lessons for counselors to use, teachers to use for advisement, those kinds of things. And we'll talk about that some as we go through. So the way Naviance works, there are components in Naviance, as well as we have UScience, where students can figure out who they are, what their interests are, self-discover. And then they move from there to career exploration. There's lots of ways for them to explore careers through the Naviance platform. Then do some academic planning. We have, if you think back to several years ago, the Bridge Act was passed from House Bill 400, I think it was, and I'll talk about that a little bit. Advisement is part of that Bridge Act, so this would have academic planning opportunities in there for counselors when they meet with students. All the time that they are doing their academic planning and college planning, they're developing, there's lessons in there to develop soft skills and non-cognitive skills that directly aligns with our employability skills, that is directly aligned to our strategic plan. Jan. So it has student impact, it has counselor impact, and of course it has district impact. It is that one platform to engage families and with resources for their students, for their children, as they're planning starting in the 6th grade. So Naviance, as I said, is a college career and life readiness platform. It is a resource to fulfill the Bridge Act. We did have, up until June 30th, the GCIS platform, but that is no longer available. So a couple of the counselors are excited that we possibly may get this upon approval for them to have, because it'll be a way for them to very easily and simplistically plan career lessons and activities for their students. That is a requirement of the Bridge Act. Of course, as I said, academic planning, college planning, some of the lessons are how to fill out a FAFSA form. Once they decide, maybe I want to be an engineer, they can research colleges and see what colleges have that that pathway for me, that degree for me. So then, of course, it is a centralized place for contact information, college and career interests, test scores, GPA, all of that thing. That is the component for the collaboration for families and students, counselors, administrators to all be able to have that one platform. And then the last slide. So, as I said, it's directly aligned to our strategic plan. Under Workforce and Life, we purposely prepare our students with the skills to navigate life beyond graduation. We have 2 strategies. Create clear guidance and indicators of what constitutes appropriate employability skills development, and create and implement K-12 career development plan. As I said, GCIS is no longer there, and I know the middle school, I talked with the counselor who organizes all the career activities and awareness activities for the school, and it's a struggle without having that platform. So she actually contacted me a few weeks back to see if we were still going to go through with this, and I told her we were going to present it to the board again and go from there. So the bridge law, building resourceful individuals to develop Georgia's economy. There I have listed what it requires: counseling, regularly scheduled advisement, career awareness, career interest inventories, information to assist students in evaluating their academic skills and career interests. And Naviance is a platform that will allow all that to happen very seamlessly. It also will allow our students, once they graduate from Coffee High School, to continue to go into their account and look at their information. So as long as we have this program, they will be able to access their information. I will say that money was budgeted for this for last year out of federal money. It's still there. I've had the approval from my program manager to use it, to purchase it for this school year, which is FY21. With our FY21 money, there's money there to budget it for FY22. So the order that is the other attachment in the line item tonight is a 3-year order, but money is there for 2 years, and I don't see where the money wouldn't be there for the 3rd year. So it would be funded from federal programs, from Title IV money. You don't have any questions?
I like it. I've been looking at it, I guess, for a while now, and one of the issues that I had as a parent, when my kids are going through, one of them just got done with high school, got another one coming through, is being able to access this information and try to make sure that they're still on whatever pathway they need to be on, make sure that they've got, this done, that done, what are their test scores, what do they lack, what do they need to get accomplished, and it's like, there's so many places you got to go to try to find this information, or call and find out from this person, or tell the kid to try to go by the counselor bar and see if you can find this. We've got stacks of mess where we're trying to keep up with this paper and that paper, and this will give you the ability to log on, get on there, and have access to all that information in one place where you can track and make sure that your child's, on track to do what they need to do.
And that's the collaborative part of it.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of other things to this, but that part of it in itself, sold me with, this is something that we need.
I will tell you that I've been working, the consultant that we were working with back in the spring, no longer is with the company. So I've been working with another guy who is actually a board member in his district in Virginia. And we did get a better price now. So just want to share that. So it might not look like a better price, but it is. I can show you the old order and show you that it is a better price. But there is training that comes along with it. It will be, I wish I could tell you that once approved that it would just all happen just like that, but there will be a training period and we'll have to get it implemented and that kind of thing. This order is for 3 years. The total cost for 3 years, you see, is $95,709.99. The first year is $37,570, and then thereafter it's $29,070, and then $29,069.99. The reason the first year is most expensive is because we have to pay for the total curriculum, which is $8,500 up front for all 3 years. So that's why it's more expensive the first year.
by year 4?
Year 4 would be starting over again. I just did it for 3 years. Usually what we do with that, Mr. Dowers, is at the end of the 3rd year, we would ask for another proposal. And a lot of times, I'm not gonna say all the time, but a lot of the times they will come in at the really close to the same price. If it's an increase, it's a very minimal increase because we've been a customer of theirs.
But if we're not satisfied after 3 years, we don't have
That's
to.
right, we don't have to.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, after 4 years, you'll know what it's worth.
That's right. And there's, as I said, the money is already there for year 1 and year 2, year 3, and I don't foresee that being a problem with Title IV money.
So that does help you with compliance on the Bridge Act?
It does, it does. And that was one, that's been a concern of the middle school counselors, specifically the one who plans the lessons and things for all the career exploration, is having a resource. She actually did some training on her own this summer, hoping that we were going to be able to get it. And so she's ready. She's sitting on go as soon as we get it.
Would this be a complete platform for compliance, or are there other?
No, this offers everything, every component of the bridge law that I put on that PowerPoint, it checks those boxes.
This is something I'm excited our counselors are gonna get, the middle school counselors, the 9th grade counselors, the high school counselors. When they saw this, they really got excited about it because it's gonna help them do their job. And high school has changed a lot in the last 10 years, and this is gonna give them a system to help them manage all that change.
And this can be, I mean, it can be counselor directed, teacher directed, or student directed. So it doesn't, a student could go on there and do a lesson themselves if they're interested in something, or if they go to the counselor and have a question, or their teacher, then they could go in there and do that, or parents. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. The next item on the agenda is the state capital outlay application for FY '22. Dr. Banks and myself and Ms. Young and Mr. Spikes met with our state facilities consultant, and we looked at our 5-year facility plan. And after several meetings, we concluded that we were going to make application and pursue funding from the state for FY '22, and I'd like to announce to the board that we were successful. They approved our FY '22 application, and we will receive, what are those numbers, Ms. Young?
The total state allocation for both elementary schools is approximately 1.3 million.
So we'll receive 1.3 million, and a portion will go to Ambrose Elementary School. Scroll down, Shannon. Go all the way to the second to the last page. Go up. There you go. You'll see that Indian Creek Elementary School will receive, for HVAC replacement, scroll down, Shannon, $780,286. Of course, that is reimbursement, so we will have to do the work ourselves, so we'll have to have the money up front, and then we can apply for reimbursement of up to $780,286. And then for Ambrose Elementary School, $601,159. So we're excited. We're going to do HVAC replacement. Those buildings are now between 20 and 25 years old. It's the original air conditioning units are on those walls, those wall pack units that you see in the classrooms and such. So we'll be able to replace all those, all the HVAC in both buildings.
Do you have matching funds we have to do?
We'll have a portion that we have to contribute. I think we have to, is it up to 14% we have to contribute, but we'll have to have the money for the whole project up front.
How much
Yes,
will
sir.
that part be there?
It's gonna be about 1,061,000.
I guess that'll be East Florida.
Each class, yes, sir. And that's an estimate.
These are estimates.
Yeah, and that's a high estimate, I would
Okay.
say, the local portion. the Georgia Department of Education School Board annual reports. The board is required annually to complete the training plan, and the training plan has been completed, and we have to have board approval to submit this to the Department of Education. You'll see that it includes the charter system governance training, board member training at the annual conference. There's very much likely that that conference will be virtual. That's what they are saying, but we will still be able to get our 6 hours of training. And then whole board governance training, when we do our retreat, usually in February, we have a trainer come in and we receive 6 hours for that. And then we have the board member training, the summer conference in Savannah. Hopefully by then, maybe it won't have to be virtual. But that is the training plan. And then the second item under that heading is the training report. This describes the number of hours that our board members received for their training that we will submit. All right. If there's no objection, we will place those items on the consent agenda.
We've got some of that online stuff that we can talk about. Do we need to do that? I mean, do we need to do that to accumulate the right amount of hours? Or if they do this virtually in December, will those 6 hours and we have retreat, will that be enough, or do we need to do something like that?
If we follow our plan, that'll be enough hours, won't it, Rob?
Everybody has to have 12 hours to keep exemplary board status
All right.
But we'll get that without doing anything.
with the 2 conferences.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you get 6 hours at each conference, and then you get 6 hours with our trainer comes here, so that's plenty of hours. And then the 2 hours with the charter training. All right. So that's the training report. Mr. Jowler stepped out. We still have a quorum. You want to continue on? We're at audience participation. And we have Mr. Rudy Porter, who is here.
You want to go through your,
Yeah,
I've almost memorized it, but if you need to go through it, go ahead.
all right. As far as,
You normally give the.
oh, yeah, well, I figured you were familiar with it.
I am.
Yeah, let's see, let's see, audience participation. Persons desiring to address the board during a work session should sign the audience participation list prior to the beginning of such meeting, be recognized by the chair before attempting to address the board, and otherwise follow the published guidelines. As provided in such board policy, each individual shall be given 5 minutes to address the board. If there is a group that requests to address the board on the same or similar subject, the chair may select representatives to speak on each side of the issue. If a group is present and there is more than one spokesperson, a maximum of 10 minutes will be allowed. If someone has an issue, problem, or concern that can be resolved administratively, he or she should first contact the superintendent and the superintendent's designee in an effort to secure a satisfactory solution. Prior to seeking to address the board will not hear oral complaints or criticisms regarding school personnel during public meetings. All right, thank you, Mr. Ford.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
I have a, one PowerPoint presentation. I'd like to have it posted right now.
What is that?
I have one PowerPoint presentation. I'd like to have it on the screen.
Ken had mentioned that. I have not had a chance to look
But
at it.
it's from your report. It's from
Yeah.
your, it's from
Oh,
your
you have a
public
paper
record.
copy of it?
Yes.
Present?
It's from your public record.
All right,
It's public record, talks about personnel.
all right.
It's verbatim from your report,
All right.
but I want the public to see it.
Well, you're welcome to go ahead and describe it, and I've not had a chance.
Can you not
to
allow me
review
to present it like you did all of the other presentations? It's this,
it. Well, that's our employees that present.
right from your report. That's the sheet I want the public to see.
I mean, I have not seen that prior to tonight.
It's from your public record, Dr. Lacy.
Yeah.
You produced it, didn't you?
I don't know, I don't.
Go ahead, just go ahead and describe to them or read off
Yeah.
whatever
Okay, that's
you need
okay.
to.
I'll just make it a part of my
Yeah.
presentation. All right. I'm Reverend Gerald Porter, pastor of Shalom Missionary Baptist Church, and I'm the chairman of the Political Action Committee of the Coffee County NAACP. Board of Education, good evening. Sister Wilkerson, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Since my last visit with this board, a lot has happened, both locally as well as nationally. Our society has been under attack. Coronavirus numbers and its death toll continue to rise, now exceeding 200,000. I am both grateful to God and thankful that in that number, no Coffee County students, teachers, or staff are in that number. The last time I stood before you, Dr. Lease and board, I stated emphatically that the Coffee County NAACP was not going anywhere. In fact, my grandson said, "Grandpa, you said you ain't going nowhere." He said, "That's not good grammar, so we aren't going anywhere." We're committed to working towards righting the wrongs committed against the citizens in our community. Our students of color, continue to need to see themselves in the adults around them. The society we live in makes it so hard for them. They have so many challenges before them. Challenges that their white counterparts will never have or understand. It is incomprehensible. That is why it is of the utmost importance that you, Dr. Lease, do more than just sit and look. As a leader, it is your responsibility to promote the success of all students by developing, advocating, and sustaining an academically rigorous, positive, and safe school environment for all. The leader focuses the success of all students by supporting, managing, and overseeing the school's organization and use of resources. Use of resources. Do what is necessary to balance your administrative and teaching staff so that it reflects the population of students. What you have in place and the way you secure teachers of color is not acceptable. It has never been acceptable. And just looking at your numbers, looking at the enrollment year for 2018 through 19, out of 450 teachers, only 55 are of color. This is from your report. That's what I wanted to make a part of my PowerPoint presentation. Only 55 out of 455 teachers are of color. And in the words of that late, great rhythm and blues singer, Barry White, that's just not enough, baby. That's just not enough. 50 out of 450 is not enough. But we're going to be persistent. In this poem written by Anonymous called Press On, it says, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. To persist is a verb meaning to continue firmly despite of obstacles, to endure. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. I've interviewed teachers who have taught in this system for over 30 years, and they say 30 years ago they were being told, you can't find enough black teachers to increase the black population of teachers in our school system. 55 out of 450 is just not enough. And as I say time and time again, we can do better than this. I'm open to any question. And that's the visual aid I want to put up. I want the world to see that only 55 black teachers out of 450 are employed in this system. 2018, 2019. Does anybody question those numbers? Just not enough. Any questions for me?
That's not enough.
You know Barry White, don't you? Sister Wilkerson?
Say it again. I couldn't understand that.
You familiar with that song by Barry White, Just Not Enough?
It's just not enough. It's not enough. Mm.
And you know, there's a group of pastors here, they have a flyer saying local pastor. Well, I live here locally, I pastor in Tifton, but I'm a pastor of God, so I'll be here.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Porter.
Just not
And
enough.
I appreciate you, Pastor Porter. Thank you.
All right. The next person we have is Mr. Michael Newton.
Good evening.
How are you, Mr. Newton?
All right, I'm along with the pastor, so do we get 5 or we get the 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay. You want to go first, Pastor? Well, here's just one of the issues I think you all stated a while back as far as changing the boardroom meetings, because a lot of people feel that they can't come, not boardroom, but school board meetings because there's not enough room. I think Mr. Lott, you said that y'all wouldn't be changing the meetings, right?
Right now, we're gonna stick like we are, yes, sir.
Okay.
We are gonna try to, and I'm assuming we got something going out there as an overflow with TV and stuff to get some more people, but we need to have these meetings here where we've got access to all the stuff we need, yes, sir.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the middle school has the same thing that you have here, because the Chamber of Commerce and a lot of other people use that same facility.
They
to
don't
do
have
that, but it
these-
has,
They don't have their offices and stuff where we have to go in the executive session, have them go get information from us and stuff like that. They do not have access to all that.
but when you're having a meeting, you're supposed to have all your documents before you.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're supposed to have all your stuff and have all your stuff with you when you go to a meeting. If you go to any meeting outside of Coffee County, you're gonna have your documents with you. So that's one of the things, but then you change the way you said that you wouldn't do it, but then you put yourself in the place of being a double-minded man, because when you look at it, didn't y'all just allow 5 football players and the whole football team to stay home? But y'all said any kids that want to participate in sports had to go to school, right? But then y'all just told them they can be homeschooled and they're going virtual. So you didn't keep your word. And so now the middle school kids are still having to go to school and play football, but yet the high school kids get to stay home. So how does that work? Because those were your words, that any child, so and being it's a Title I school, like the lady said, it's federal funded money that takes care of this system. And so we reached out to a copy of Mr. Mark Elkhart, who's over the accreditation for the school system, and the regional coordinator, Ms. Amanda Adams, because you stated one thing, and now some kids that want to play middle school football couldn't because they're homeschooled, and then there's some in the high school that want to play football but can't because they stay at home, and now you're telling the football players they can stay home so that you can save your football season, but not the kids and the teachers that's being exposed to COVID at school. And so I applaud Mr. Bull Brown for what he's doing, while we're not gonna do the same things, because the lady said again, we're all from Coffee County. We need to see about each other. For me, it's not black, white, brown, and yellow. It's about doing what's right. And so if you're gonna do it for one, you need to do it for all. Other than that, is it a fair moment?
That's true. That's so very true.
Now, James said you're a double-minded man. If you lean one way or the other, we all say we're Christians. So what are we? Do we believe the word? Or do we create our own word when it justifies what we want? You know me, Dr. Lee. You know I'm a straight shooter.
Yes, sir.
Also, still being concerned about the people that are not able to attend the meeting. I addressed that on last time. So now we want to make a requisition that, if we can have just a different organized meeting for the community. I know you said it's not a public meeting, but, you know, we still would like to be able to have people from the community to be able to attend meetings, so we can have like even once a month, a special organized meeting for the community to come and be a part of what's going on with the school system. That's what we want to recommend.
I'm going to call out the names. Good evening to school board, to the community. I want to call out the names of several of the parents and students who were in attendance at the last meeting. Ms. Francine Killebrew Thornton, David Lindsay, Ansper Ingram, and Christopher Stinson. These individuals were referenced at the last meeting, Dr. Lisa. We talked subsequent to the meeting's adjournment about an incident that took place in terms of some type of vandalism that took place, and of course a subsequent investigation both in the homes of the parent and children that I just mentioned, as well as in the schools. Ms. Killebrew was emphatic about and very emotional about how her son was interviewed without her knowledge. I ask you, I encourage you, make sure they get some support, some counseling or something. And much to my surprise, as of this moment, the children are exhibiting post-traumatic issues, and the parents are still upset. They have not been effectively serviced and supported with schools resources, either in counseling or any other kind of support, which I find extremely disturbing. And I would like, by the next time we have met, there's been some type of plan to address this matter, especially discerning the extent to which it is proper for a resource officer to interview a child without the knowledge of their parent, without the express consent of the parent, especially given the fact that they have given in-person consent in a preceding process. And it is important, I think, if an individual does not do what they're supposed to do with respect to proper protocol, that they should be held accountable in one way or another, whether it's administratively or what have you. Our youth and our young men, our young boys and our young girls need to be treated as children, and they need to be protected. When a child goes through some type of trauma in that way, it affects them for the rest of their lives unless it is effectively and immediately addressed. And so it is the concern of concerned clergy that this be addressed extremely quickly. It's been a month. We talked at the last meeting, here we are again, and the young men are still exhibiting various ways in which their behavior has affected them. On a personal note, I am particularly concerned because I went through, as a child, something like that. I had a father with me who helped to intervene immediately, but I still needed support because it is important that we recognize that we should be protected regardless of where we are. And the schools and our homes ought to be places where we're able to engage in the educational process without any threat of being criminalized. These young men do not need to have that stigma on them and in their lives. They need that memory dealt with. They do not need to have that festering frustration because it becomes it exacerbates other kinds of behavior. Secondly, the young men, I understand, are also traumatized because they're being bullied, because they've been criminalized. Others are looking at them as criminals, and the parents have also spoken to various school personnel. So I'm just asking that this be addressed immediately, that within the next 5 days, really tomorrow, that these students and parents be supported with the resources available in the school without cost to themselves. They're considering counseling, but I don't think they should have to pay for it. I think they were traumatized in a school setting. I think the school system ought to make sure that they're taken care of. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I guess I still want to get some type of feedback on what's the difference of doing and not doing. Will the kids that want to play be able to play? Because in a Title I school, everyone has the right to have the equal opportunity. And so it's not an equal opportunity because y'all changed the playing field in the middle of school already started.
And this is the reason we don't get in the back and forth in these meetings, because, and here's what I'm saying, because I don't know. I'll have to find out. We made a commitment that if you were in-house, you could play sports and stuff like that. If you were virtual, you couldn't. If we've got kids that aren't, then I'll find out about that. But to sit here and make comments on it right now, I don't know. Let me look into that.
That's good. Appreciate it. Another back and forth.
Thank you. You have a need for executive session?
No, sir, I don't have any for executive session.
All right. If we don't have a need for executive session, then we will adjourn the work session and be back in a little bit for the regular meeting.